Okay, so we're going to look at this half guard sequence, just looking at getting him flat on his back, utilising my arm as a bit of lever, and squeezing his leg, the bottom leg, with our legs now. So we're going to squeeze nice and tight. While he's on his side, we want him on his back. So I'm going to use this arm. Yes, it's at risk, I know that. But in this instance, I'm using this to lever him this way, bringing his shoulders flat. And then by having my toes in the mat and squeezing his leg, I'm just going to tip and toe this way, trying to get the bottom nice and flat. So now his shoulders are flat, his hips are flat. And as soon as they are, using them in combination, I'm going to go nice and low with my chest, and I'm going to cinch up, getting some good grip at the back here, hold onto the armpit if you can, and then I'm going to lean forward, up on my knees, and I'm now on the knee on this side, and I'm peeling him off the deck on his hips here, see how it comes free, and we've got the gap, and as I do so, I roll my pressure into his neck. Okay, so the whole of this sequence relies on him wanting to hold on. Naturally, if he lets go at this point, that's fine, I'm just going to take the step back and take my half. In this instance, he's holding on tight, I trace to here, I do a little kick with this leg, just enough to clear this knee, here. I'm looking for this reaction, and as I do, I'm going to collect just underneath the tricep. The thing that does the work now is the shin, driving across his hip, rolling his body this way, and this is going to assist as I come up and over. At this point here, I can get a nice tricep cross using my shoulder pushing on top and the blade of the arm underneath. But what I must do is this far leg, my knee comes high on his hip and brings him up onto his side in order to secure that. Sometimes I'll miss this arm and he'll wrap this one. So I'm going to switch now. I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to cup the shoulder, move slightly so you can see, cup the shoulder like so. I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to cup his arm like so. My head's going to switch to the other side and then I'm going to move around for you. Move around. Okay, so now I'm on this side. I've got the back of my head driving into him and I'm pulling up on this arm. I take my hips high, tiptoes up, switch my hips, drive the knee to the floor. So now the shin's bringing his hips this way. When I get to here, I drive the back of my head into him, pulling high on this arm, knee slicing through. And again, if they're holding on real hard, I'm likely going to have to use this foot to kick and drive through. Now I'll rotate around and see you on the other side. Okay, so we've finished coming through, and when I get to here, I want to bring this bottom knee in, support under his elbow, on the shoulder on this side, keeping this all nice and tight. I'm going to then switch my hips and face the floor, and now the other knee's under that shoulder. This is all nice and tight here. I'm going to trace the arm down underneath into my side control, leaving no space. Once I get here, I'm going to secure the position. Move back slightly. And now I know I'm happy here. I'm going to keep this underhook on this side. I don't want him worming this in, so my head's checking the whole time. I'm trying to keep that. Using my head to stop that happening, I'm going to reach underneath, crop face my hand almost like so, to find the lapel. And I'm going to bring it through and under his arm. Come back to here as I pass it to the other hand. Okay, so from here, I'm going to keep the pull down here, keep the head control here. And now I've got to isolate this arm on this side using my hips and my knees. The way I'll do that, moving slightly, is I'm going to bring this leg up, but I bring it to my body. So I'm pinching this arm the whole time. I then sit the other knee under the shoulder, keeping again this side nice and tight. I want enough material on this side at this point so that my wrist can come around for the canto, so that the arm comes over the side of his neck rather than under the back of it. So I'm now all nice and tight. This arm's working hard, controlling this side. This one's here, pulling up. So yes, I've got obviously locks up and attack on the arm, but prioritizing the choke over the lock. I'm gonna move myself until I'm comfortable where my hips need to be or my knee needs to be in relation to his body before I step over. When I'm ready and I'm happy, I take that step and I walk the heel toe into where I want it to be, pushing on the far side of his neck, bringing this one up, and I lean into this arm as I do so in order to finish the choke. If I can't get the choke, quite common, I'm going to take this knee now and I'm going to bring it here and I'm going to sit it by his ribs. Keeping control of this to start with, I'm starting to pull my heel back, driving my knee to the floor in order to finish the choke there. But I'm gonna switch my head to the other side of his hip. My head comes to this side of the hip, ear to hip, and now my body hits the floor in order to finish the choke there. If I can't get it here, I'm gonna take this knee on top and I'm gonna drive it down into the gap between his ribs and his arm. I'm now gonna turn perpendicular to his body again. I've kept this grip the whole time, move slightly. I've kept this grip the whole time so everything's wound on. And now, where I get most effect is when I now bring this knee on top of his shoulder, driving it up and into his jump and there, so that we're cutting off both sides. Naturally, he's obviously gonna not like it when the knee's pushing down on top, but the aim, keeping it in mind that we're looking for the choke, is to hit both sides of the neck, stop the blood flow to the brain with a bit of luck, and get the tap. Enjoy that pressure lock. Have at it.